This is Hashtag Radio News.
So let's start with what made you decide to, what is the initiative firstly?
Sure. To tell you the honest truth, I personally been in the music industry for over 25 years now.
Oh, hectic.
Is it rolling?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Over 25 years, and I've done a mixture of top-end events from, opening the August cycle tour, hosting that, emceeing that for a couple of years.
Oh,
It was a big initiative. The city makes over 300 to 400 million rand over about a 4 to 5 month period now. From an initiative like that, and when they used to run the expo at the Good Hope Centre, I hosted that from was it 97, 98, 99.
oh, geez.
Yeah, so I've done that, and I've done some big trade shows. I've worked. I've opened the Velodrome in Belleville
Oh, that must
from a
have been
musical
fun.
side for the 2004 Olympic bid, which Cape Town was a candidate city, and then obviously Greece won.
Mm-hmm.
But I brought in a black a cappella group with me to re-record a Christa Berg song called the Rainbow Song,
Okay.
which she wrote for Mandela when he was coming out of jail.
Yeah.
We did that in 97, I believe, at the Velodrome in Belleville, which was a 60 million rand project to open the racing track for the cycling people, and then it was the World Weightlifting Championships, the World Fencing Championships, and the World Junior Cycling Championships, and we went worldwide to about 280 million people.
How exciting was that event?
That was
Yeah,
crazy.
just
I mean, that's
imagine
probably the
it.
biggest musical thing I've ever done, besides hosting events, playing as a performer, and I teach music as well, privately as well. So yeah.
But it's an ingrained passion for you,
It's
music, on all
it's-
spheres.
Yeah, I have I have a commercial background in commercial industrial property. I've been involved in the cleaning chemical industry, so I've done a lot of that, other mainstream commerce and industry, and music's always been parallel to me, and through a long period of time. I've done various events. I did the Mrs. South Africa pageant, the first ever one they had in the Western Cape here, with ex-Miss World finalist Natalie Bernard.
Oh, hectic.
Yes, and we did that at the Lord Charles in Somerset West some years ago. And then also I arranged the Mr. Bikini Club Mykonos. I think that was 2002 and 2005. I arranged the winner to go to the Miss South Africa pageant as a finalist. She was an automatic entry finalist in that. So I've done some big events besides working in pick and paid office events and shopping centres and malls and rolling out different concepts. So the water's been predominant with me for a while now, and I've been thinking about not talking about it anymore, but doing something about it.
Oh, that's the good part about
Yeah.
things, where you have all these ideas and you eventually act
Yeah.
on it. How has the response been to this water initiative?
Well, to tell you the truth, I think the Western Cape government themselves, as much as they justify the fact that they won I think it was Society's 40 award for being one of the most progressive metros in the world. I think that was about 2 years ago they won it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to correction. But when they've done updated media coverage on the water problem that we've got, part of the discussion has been that they anticipated. We've had good rains in the Cape here, in the Western Cape, for quite a long while now. And I don't know if I really buy it, but I mean, over the last 2-3 years, we can all see that the weather patterns have changed, and who's a rocket scientist to know that we're suddenly going to run into a huge drought? And hence saying that California have just gone through 7 years of drought in America.
It's actually quite fascinating that slowly everybody's going through their own spout of drought.
So the weather patterns in the world have shifted somewhat. And one of the big criteria is that previously the weather patterns in the Western Cape, and particularly over the mother city, we used to get a lot of rain in the catchment areas, and a lot of our water feed comes from Teerwater and Klein Willem, and it called from that feed up from the Orange River, which is known as the Greep originally, which is the longest river in Africa.
Yes.
The confluence, I think, flows out quite close to Springbok on the border of South Africa and Namibia. So yeah, I think there's always a trickle-down effect from that, and the water thing itself has become a lot more evident over the last year or two. And I've been thinking about it for over a year now, but thinking I don't just want to do a water-saving campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I want to change people's mindsets in the public arena, as when they wake up every day. Currently we're down to 87 litres per person per day. That's level 5B water restriction, and it's going to get worse.
I heard there's incentives that if you use water below your designated amount, that you get 2 litres extra or something like that. Do you think that is actually working as a water-saving initiative?
You know, that question directed at me from Waterwize Concepts Cape Town. That's the initiative I'm rolling out, and it's on Facebook as a page called Waterwize Concepts.
Oh, okay.
And I have 2 pages, and the one is Waterwize Concepts, spelled with a water with a wise, with W-I-S-E. And the third one will be rolled out probably in the next 10 days, called Waterwize Concepts Cape Town Special Events. And obviously the wise is spelled with a W, with a Z, excuse me.
Okay.
And the whole thinking behind understanding where we are currently, we in excess of 680 million litres of water are used daily in the metropole of Cape Town. That's where we're sitting right now. The target for the city, the greater metropole of the mother city, of approximately 3.7 million people. That's our metro residency of communities and that. They want to try and get it up to 550,000 million litres. I apologise, 550 million litres of water. We also have underground water coming from the Table Mountain catchment dams. There were 3 big dams up there. Mm-hmm. There's water that's been running through the caverns in the city for many, many millennia now, even down past the castle, which is the oldest building in South Africa. That's the fort. And I think between you and I, open to figures and confirmation, but I think we're losing in excess of 5 million litres a day. Where and how the city are going to interact with that is to be seen. How are we going to save that water, and how are we going to redirect that water into whether we use it as used water, and the word for used water is called potable water.
Okay.
Yeah, that's potable, P-O-T-A-B-L-E. Potable water means used water.
Okay.
And obviously fresh water from the mountain streams and that, and how people are using it. So level 5B water restrictions at 87 litres a day. I think by the middle of summer we're going to be down to about 35, 40 litres a day per person. Not only at home and residentially, but it's rolling out to industry now as well. So if you've been watching the press for the last couple of days, you would have noticed, particularly in the mainstream media like the Cape Times, there was a frontline page piece about installing 50,000 metre fines for people that are using excess amounts of water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You see, now when you give us numbers and you draw that kind of picture, it actually seems a lot more concerning.
Tell
Because
me
I think
about it.
people read the articles, but they don't really understand how detrimental it really is. So it's not something that they're actually interacting with. But when you explain it like that, even I'm a bit concerned now.
Well, there you are, you see. So hence your question to me is, why do I want to roll out the water community projects, the Waterwize concept, basically, so that people go into a communal place like a shopping centre or a shopping mall or whatever it is. It's places where people meet, eat, greet, they shop, they do their business, they do their residential, and in a lot of cases do their commercial stuff, social media stuff. Gets done in, coffee bars and hangouts and internet cafes, etc., etc. So people of all genres and all race groups and of all age groups are part and parcel of the bigger picture on what we're going to do to save water. Now we're on the verge of the summer season. They're estimating in some of the discussions that I've read through on media talk and some of the programs I've listened to, and talking to some people in the know from the Western Cape government. I'm not quoting anybody, but the general consensus is that with summer coming, the city has to probably buy in an extra 300 to 500 million litres of water a day just to service the city. Now, can you imagine that if our water by November the rains stop, and there's talk that maybe we'll extend the rainy season into late November. There is talk of that through the Weather Bureau and the forecast. So you can never hold it to it. So, the city, in their response to media and to the public wanting to know why they haven't, programmed and put working projects into place to deal with the water issue, have said that as long as they've had a long-term plan and they've thought about it from a couple of years ago, the opportunity to garner water, save water, use water wisely has been something that's been in their working documents. But when the water became an issue and we started getting more dry conditions, and the city now is, because of the way the water has changed in the world and the economic climate, it's missing the main city now. And that's part of and so their answer is that water itself is missing the catchment areas of the Western Cape, and that's why we're in such a dire need of water now.
Oh, hectic. I did see on, I think it was their Facebook page, because they, the city of Cape Town uploaded a video that was made by 2 kids,
Yes.
and it's their idea of how to save water. I didn't watch the video, to be very honest.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't, but I saw the link because my friend recorded it.
Oh, okay.
And it was just a brief explanation of how they intend to save water with that, and
Yes.
the comments underneath that were from obviously people in Cape Town, in the city. They were like,
Yes.
it's a great initiative, but we need something long term. What can we do, and what are you doing as a state to make it easier to save water and actually visibly save water?
Yeah.
Because I've noticed in the city of Cape Town, that
Yes.
fountain in the center,
Yes.
they switched that off now.
Yes.
All hotels and public buildings like the CTICC, they have the brown water now that flushes.
It's called potable water.
Oh, is that potable water?
It's potable, but
Oh,
there's a
okay.
difference between potable water and toiletry water.
Okay.
It comes to the same thing, but they have to purify and reprocess the toilet water to turn it either back into drinking water, and that process is quite expensive.
I can imagine.
So when you talk about potable water, we're talking about water that comes from households and community, and it comes from industry, from hospitality, entertainment, where I'm based in that industry. Where what do they do with the used water? And what they're doing with the used water, people are learning now to fit different applications to their water taps.
Yeah.
Number one. Even in residential properties now, there's no more bathing. You need to get in quickly, and
Get out.
if you've got 87 litres of water a day, that's a lot of water for a single person. And an argument a lady had with me the other day from a community, and she said to me, well, I have a family, I need to cook and do that. I said, yes, but we're talking about 87 litres of water a day per person. So you tell me you can cook and can do your washing and put it in your washing machine and take out the wastewater and use it in your toiletries. That's what people are doing. So I understand that, but I said 87 litres is a lot of water. When you shower, you're only using 6 or 8 litres anyway.
Yeah.
If you get in the shower quickly and you get out and you don't
Reflect.
if you brush your teeth, you don't let the water run, you need to brush it. Let the water run. Sometimes people are starting to use like a little bowl, put it under the tap, brush your teeth, take that water and go and put it in a bucket in a container. So, hence, what is the difference I want to make? I just want to make a difference to people's mindset as to not only how serious water is for now, but it's going to be with us for a while. This is the start of a very dry, long spell for the Western Cape in the weather patterns, number one, and number two, how we cleverly talk to each other about how we're going to save water. So, to answer your first point,
Yeah.
rolling out the concept at shopping centres and shopping malls and places of community gathering, restaurants, bars, hotels, local and national, international tourist visitors, we've got to make them more water wise, right, in the first instance. Number two, there are different ways of rolling out water campaigns where everyone has a different way they want to do it. I'm using entertainment, I'm bringing in people from radio and TV, locally based in the Cape, who are going to help me profile the awareness and seriousness of water usage.
Nice.
And they will be I'm doing competitions where we're rolling one out here at the Milton Mall here,
Yes, I
quite
saw
close
that
to the
picture.
radio here. I've done the processes that we want to thank PostNet, one of the tenant and sponsors, for putting all the graphics and the design and the posters together. And you've seen how the mall has been set out with the entry forms, and went up to 2,000 rand in sponsored prizes and cash related to your best water saving idea. So that is a pilot project with different projects to come in future. Every month or 2, 3, we're going to be using malls, smaller malls like Milton Mall and other bigger malls around the city. We're looking at something in Greenpoint at the moment also to get the Waterwize concept into the public eye. Also going to create water saving days where the public will be asked to bring along a 5-litre container of fresh or potable used water, and that's going to be donated to the less privileged community.
Nice.
So they can use it for washing and washing down services, watering of playing fields, school grounds, and the like, so that the usable water doesn't just get used at a restaurant and then flushed down the toilet system.
Yeah. So do you only intend to keep it in the Western Cape, or would you maybe take it to other provinces who are not experiencing drought now?
To tell you the honest truth,
as a pre-measure,
I think that my personal feeling as the creator of Waterwize Concepts Cape Town, I want to keep it as tight as possible, so that ongoing, if I put it at a couple of different malls and shopping centres and in the restaurant, bar and food and hotel industry, from backpackers through to overnight accommodation to holiday accommodation, whatever it is, if we have such a big problem in the Western Cape, seriously, my target is to help people understand they've got to use water a lot more efficiently in the Western Cape. If it happens that a national campaign comes out, there's talk, I'm thinking along the lines of doing a festival with it, water and community, and bring some local, national, international radio and TV personas and personalities, which I'm doing right now, using some of the local Cape Town radio stations. We have one of the guys from Smile FM.
I saw that on the poster.
The breakfast show. Bobby Brown is coming to do the draw next Friday outside the Quick Spa for the competition. So we'll see how that rolls out.
Sounds exciting already. I know people love draws and SWAT prizes and stuff like that. Yes. So if anybody wanted to get in contact with you in terms of being a part of the initiative or anything like that, how would they do so?
There's a couple of ways they can actually do that. If they do follow the Waterwize Concepts on Facebook, there's 2 pages, and I'll say there will be a third one. Okay. They could always just type onto Facebook and have a look, type in Waterwize Concepts Cape Town, and there's a page there. They can leave some comments there, and I'll probably obviously get to read it and respond accordingly.
Oh, lovely.
I'm in the thoughts of creating a specific email for the Waterwize Concepts. And when that is current and available, that I'll be adding to the poster layout and design as we're going forward into the city. And this is this is the first of a long line of initiatives, so that people every day wake up and know that if they want to go shopping, they've normally got to come to a shopping centre or they've got to go to shop. I want them to know that every day we need to save water, because I tell you what, if the Western Cape run out of water, we run out of life.
That is so deep. That's the way you said it. It's the pause that you had in the middle that had a very dramatic effect, and that was a good effect, because I was like, oh. Okay, now that is very true.
It's true though.
That is super true. Yeah. Oh, hectic.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you're a lot younger than me, but let me share this quickly with you. Our bodies are made up of about 88% of water. That's how the higher power made us. And if you think that the oceans and the world are made up, 70% of the water in the world is the balance of the oceans, and 30-40% is landmass, if you think about it. So water, in the way we were created, in the body, water the way we were created as humans, are all contemporary measures how we are supposed to deal with natural disasters, number one. How the world changes, how the weather patterns change in the world, and climate change, all to do with commerce and industry. Big business building shopping centres and buildings and accommodation. they've got to step up to the plate and take a bit more responsibility in how they deal with water and used water.
Yeah.
Used water should go to those that can't afford it. Somebody says to me this week, well, in my rates and taxes and that, why should I give somebody else my water? My question, in reply to that, when they wanted an answer, was, well, why not?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with all your water
The excess
once
water.
you've used it? What are you going to do with it? It's called used potable water. Are you going to use every last drop on your garden, or washing down your floors and that? What about those that can't afford water? Why don't we help those living night shelters, that living in disadvantaged areas where, in the area, people up from Joe Slade and that, and long term down the track, we need to connect with them.
Yeah.
Whether we give it to the school and the school water the fields or whatever, it doesn't matter. We need to connect with these people.
Has there been, now that you mentioned that, has there been any negative feedback or any struggles that you've come across when you're rolling out your campaign? Are there people that disagree with you? Are they...
The campaign's quite fresh. I've had a lot of debate from people in business and industry, and I say that to you in no disrespect. I think people in franchise businesses in the hospitality industry have had certain ways and patterns how they deal with water, how they use water and what they do with excess water. So I think us trying to do collective things, myself as a private, independent person with many years of expertise in the hospitality and entertainment industry, understand business and commerce. So I can marry a couple of those projects and understand, right, we change that and we change that. It's all a mindset on how you change the way you want to see your business run and how you want to capture the imagination of your employees, for example. I mean, in one of the mall campaigns we're running out, I'm asking people to bring a 5-litre empty container if they want to win a prize or a free coffee on a voucher on the day. If they bring a 5-litre of fresh water or potable water, they're going to stand a chance to win opportunities, and that's going to be donated to the less fortunate, from, as I say, to areas that need water. We open places where the local government are rolling out watering gardens and people not washing cars anymore. I think I better just tell you also that there's a move afoot, and then we can sort of wrap that up, that there's an engineer that was connected to the design of the International Convention Centre in Cape Town.
Okay.
There's a private initiative underway now that they're locking in with the Western Cape government. They're coming up with, they're using electrodes on certain buildings around the city. It's a project how to mimic. The word mimic means reinvent the desire to bring water to the Cape. So we're living in the city bowl, which is 3/4 surrounded by the mountain. And as you know, Table Mountain's always got the cloud coming over. So what they want to try and do is they want to mimic the conditions to bring water to create rain in the bowl of the city.
So you do agree that scientists are controlling the weather? Do you?
No, I don't agree with that. No. But scientists can have a foot in the door to change how they see weather patterns and influence weather patterns. But long term, we don't know what natural reaction bringing in false weather patterns are going to have long term for our economy and our climate change.
That's a very interesting thing to do, mimicking the weather conditions, especially in a time like that.
I'm looking to connect in that arena with those people once they're going to start putting that into a working plan shortly.
Do you think they should start and then stop
I
after
think
a while?
They're busy interacting with the government about getting it up and running and getting the pilot done already of that project, and they're going to use selected points around the city, I think, on buildings and that, where these diodes are going to emit impulses to the atmosphere, and those impulses are going to attract various different weather patterns and bring in probably moist air from the sea and create the rain. And if that happens, if that guy gets that right and we can use it longer term, he'll be a multi-billionaire. I can tell you that now.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely.
And I want to be part of that.
I will be your intern.
You will, eh?
Personal assistant, everything.
Yeah.
I'll be here for that as well. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to roll out such an important initiative in the Western Cape, because it is definitely something that we need. And
Yes.
I personally hope that it just blows out the water, mind the pun, but I just hope that it catches wind really fast and that we all realize the importance of the project that you're running out now, because it is really important for our sustainability and the sustainability of
Very
life
much so.
in general, like other
Very,
organisms.
very much so. My biggest fear is that the younger generation, which I'm happy to do this insert today on for hashtag radio, because you've got your demographic listenership, I suppose, will be a lot younger than in most arena, and it's important that the younger people take a little bit of, not necessarily responsibility, but a little bit more time in understanding every time they open their tap on how to count the time they need to use their tap, open and close it, you know. And people at homes now are using different flushing systems. We do it in our residential anyway. We don't even flush all the time anymore. It accumulates up, and you obviously use some sort of disinfectant, and once or twice a day, 3 times a day, they flush it.
Yeah.
So, and then people use different portable water from washing machines and that into the toilet system, which is fine in a way. The city, just so that you know, in winding this up, have rolled back the power outage of the water to the city. So when you shower in future, you may find that the strength of the shower is not as normal. And that is also where they're cutting back on saving water, on the outage of water around the city. You know, so the water pressure has been wound back a little bit. They've taken it down, and I think they're going to continue to do that as long as they don't get any airlocks and blockages in the system, because it's a big system. You know, we have you know, lots of underground caverns and taverns where water just runs, and I'm trusting now that the city are going to use, you know, clever, wise ways of interacting with people like myself, because I'm trying to connect with them along that line and get it endorsed in the city. And believe me, I'm not going to stop. This is just not something I'm doing today and stopping it tomorrow.
Oh no, you should definitely.
This has become part of Waterwize Concepts. Cape Town will become part of my extended lifestyle. And even although I'm going to make a living out of projecting this concept, because nobody does anything for free, but the free part of it's true. I mean, I'm just being truthful and honest here. I need to make something to live on, firstly, and secondly, I need to make sure whoever I bring into these projects running out, from radio and TV celebrities and connect business community and sponsors, from, you know, radio and TV and hospitality and commerce, and the bigger city, and obviously the government themselves, you know, Western Cape government. If we can all collectively get an understanding that I'm one person of 3.7 million people wanting to make a difference, but consistently being in the public eye to make a difference, then I think I've achieved my first foot in the door.
Okay, that's a good mindset to have when you're on this project.
Cool.
Thank you very much once more, PJ.
Thank you for having me.